Have you ever noticed how some days you feel clear-headed, steady, and fully yourself? And other days, your mind feels foggy, your body feels heavy, and even simple tasks feel strangely out of reach. We often blame stress, our sleep, or motivation. But what if the real difference between a good day and a hard day is something happening far beneath your awareness? Something quieter than mood, more fundamental than willpower, and even more powerful than any supplement, routine, or habit. What if almost everything you experience, your clarity, your mood, your patience, your cravings, your hormones, your immunity, your energy levels, and even how quickly you age, all comes down to one underlying function, a single physiological system running every second of your life, whether you pay attention to it or not. It's called good energy. And if you've never heard that term before, you're not alone, because we usually think about energy as if it's a feeling, a sense of being hyper or drained or wired. But good energy is something different. It's not a feeling, it's a capacity. It's the ability of your cells to create clean, steady, sustainable power. Power that allows your brain to think clearly, your heart to beat smoothly, your hormones to stay in balance, and your immune system to stay alert, and even your entire body to function the way it was designed. And here's the part that surprised me. When this underlying system is working, you feel like yourself. When it's disrupted, however, everything else struggles. So the real question isn't, how do I get more energy? But something deeper. How do my cells have the conditions they need to create and generate good energy in the first place? In this episode, we're going to explore why that question may be the missing link in modern health, and why understanding this hidden system can change the way you think about your body from this moment forward. Before we go deeper, I want to give you a clear roadmap for where we're headed and introduce you to the book that's guiding this journey. This episode is the first episode in our series on the book, Good Energy by Dr. Casey Means. It's a great book. She's a physician who spent years inside the medical system before realizing that much of what we call healthcare is actually symptom management. Her central idea is simple but profound. The root of how we feel comes down to the clarity and the quality of energy our cells are able to make. And today, we're going to explore that idea in 3 steps. First, we'll unpack what good energy actually is. Not the feeling of being energized, but the cellular engine that powers every part of your life. Second, we'll look at why this system is struggling. Dr. Casey Means says there's a mismatch between what our bodies evolved to expect and the environment we live in now. And that mismatch is shaping everything from our focus to our hormones to our immune resilience. And third, we'll explore what happens when this energy system falls out of sync, how small disturbances inside your cells can ripple outward into the symptoms and conditions that so many people experience every day. My goal isn't to overwhelm you with biology. It's to give you a mental model, a way of seeing your body that actually explains your lived experience. Because once you understand good energy, a lot of things begin to click for you. Your clarity, your cravings, your mood, your metabolism, your aging, and even the sense of how you feel on any given day. So let's begin where it all starts. What does it actually mean for the body to have good energy? As I mentioned earlier, good energy isn't a feeling, it's a cellular reality. It's the ability of your cells to create clean, steady, sustainable power. The kind of power that allows your body to think clearly, more smoothly, repair itself, and stay balanced. Dr. Means breaks this down into 3 simple parts. First, your cells have to make energy. This process happens in tiny structures called mitochondria, little power plants in your cells that take the food you eat and turn it into usable fuel. Second, your body has to deliver that energy to every cell that needs it. Your brain, your heart, your muscles, all of them rely on a steady flow of clean power. And third, your cells have to clean up the waste that the energy production creates. Just like any power plant, burning fuel leaves residue. If that residue isn't cleared, the system gets clogged. When these 3 steps are working, making, delivering, and cleaning, you experience good energy. You feel mentally clear. You're emotionally steady. Your body responds the way it should. And you move through life with a sense of grounded ease. But when even just one of these steps falters, when your cells can't make energy efficiently, or can't deliver it, or can't clear the waste, the effects ripple outward quickly. This is the part we rarely talk about. We discuss symptoms, fatigue, cravings, anxiety, brain fog, but not the system underneath them. So a natural question emerges. What would cause a system this fundamental to fall out of balance for so many people? Or put another way, if good energy is so central and our cells are designed to create it effortlessly, what changed? To answer these questions, we have to look at the world around us, because for most of human history, our cells lived in an environment that supported them perfectly. For hundreds of thousands of years, our bodies evolved in rhythm with a world that moved slowly, a world of whole foods, natural light, consistent movement, clean air, deep sleep, and meaningful social bonds. Our metabolism, this entire energy-producing system, was built in partnership with that environment. And then, almost overnight in evolutionary time, the world around us changed, but our biology didn't. We now live in a landscape that would be unrecognizable to every previous generation of humans. Foods that our cells have never seen before. Light that distorts our circadian rhythms. Stressors that never shut off. Movement that has been engineered out of daily life. Air and water filled with unfamiliar chemicals. Sleep interrupted by screens and schedules. When you step back, the question becomes less, why are so many people struggling? And more, how could our cells possibly keep up in an environment they were never designed for? Dr. Means calls this the evolutionary mismatch, the gap between what our cells expect and what they actually receive. And here's the part that matters most. When the environment shifts, cells adapt. They do the best they can with the conditions they're given. But adaptation comes with trade-offs. A little less energy here, a little more inflammation there, a bit more residue left uncleared, a few systems running on backup mode. Individually, each of these adjustments is small, but when they happen in every cell and every minute, the effect becomes enormous. It's like trying to grow a rainforest plant under fluorescent light in a windowless room. There's nothing wrong with the plant. It's simply in the wrong conditions. And the same is true for us. Now, how do these tiny cellular adjustments grow into the symptoms we feel and the diseases we fear. To see that, we need to zoom in even closer. Let's start with the smallest scale. Inside every cell, energy production is a delicate choreography. Fuel comes in, energy is created, waste is cleared. When conditions are right, the dance is smooth. But when the environment shifts, even slightly, the choreography starts to stumble. And it usually follows a predictable chain reaction. Step 1, your cells struggle to make clean energy. They're working harder to get less. Step 2, the energy that does get made is delivered unevenly. Some areas get too little and others get too much. The internal power grid flickers. Step 3, waste begins to pile up. Inflammatory byproducts, damaged molecules, oxidative residue, all of it accumulates faster than the system can clear it. Step 4, cells shift into survival mode. They shut down non-essential jobs so they can protect the basics. So cleaning, repairing, communicating, all of these get deprioritized. Step 5, the cellular adjustments scale up into the tissues and organs. And suddenly, you don't feel like yourself. That's where brain fog, fatigue, cravings, mood swings, hormonal shifts, digestive issues, immune fragility come in. Not because you're unmotivated or undisciplined, but because billions of tiny power plants are struggling to do what they were once able to do without effort. And here's the part that surprises most people. You can feel perfectly functional and still be experiencing this ripple effect. By no surprise, modern life is remarkably good at helping us normalize dysfunction. We treat symptoms as disconnected events. A bad mood here, a sugar craving there, a week of low energy, when in reality, they're often expressions of the same underlying dysfunction, the same underlying disruption. And this is where science becomes personal, because these cellular shifts don't stay microscopic. They show up in the way you live your life. Good energy is not an abstract scientific idea, it's a lived experience. It reflects in the way you wake up in the morning, and how you think through problems, and how patient you are with the people you love. In your cravings, your focus, your resilience, and your sense of peace. When your energy system is working, you don't even notice it. You simply feel like yourself. But when it's disrupted even slightly, you start to feel the difference in ways that are easy to dismiss. You might feel a little foggier, a little more reactive, a little less motivated, a little more tired, even after a full night of sleep. You might tell yourself it's just stress or age or personality, but often it's something simpler. Your cells are asking for conditions that modern life no longer provides. And instead of interpreting these signals as information, we absorb them as self-judgment. We push harder. We sleep less. We drink more caffeine and assume the problem is our discipline. But it's rarely about discipline. It's about biology. This is why understanding good energy is so powerful. It gives you a new lens, one that replaces self-judgment with clarity. It helps you see that your body isn't failing you, it's communicating with you. And once you understand what those signals mean, you can start making changes that actually move the needle forward, not by forcing your body, but by supporting it. Now let's take a step back and bring this entire picture into focus, because when you see how these ideas connect, the story of good energy becomes much clearer. Good energy is the quiet force that powers every moment of your life. It's created inside your cells through a simple sequence, making clean energy, delivering it where it's needed and clearing the waste that's left behind. For most of human history, this system worked effortlessly. Our environment supported it without us even knowing it. But modern life has shifted almost every condition our cells rely on. Food, light, movement, stress, sleep, and the chemicals we breathe and absorb every single day. That mismatch between what our biology expects and what it receives creates tiny disruptions that ripple outward into the way you feel, think, and function. You don't have to memorize the science. You just have to remember this. When your cells can create good energy, you feel like yourself. And when they can't, nothing else works the way it should. This is the foundation. It explains so much of the confusion people feel around their health. Why symptoms seem scattered. Why lab results don't match lived experience. And why so many people struggle without clear explanations. But understanding the foundation raises a much bigger question. If good energy is this central, why isn't it the center of modern healthcare? Why do we treat the effects instead of the cause? Why do we diagnose organs instead of understanding energy? Why does a system built on brilliant people produce outcomes that keep getting worse? That's where we're headed in the next video in this series. Because the story of good energy isn't just about biology, it's about the structures around us. Our medical system, our incentives, and the way we've learned to think about health. And once you see how these systems are built, a lot of what feels frustrating or confusing starts to make sense. So I'll see you in the next video.